Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR.
Rick, you're on with Meatball.
Great, thanks.
Good morning, Rick. How are you?
All right, my friend. How are you?
Doing just fine, man. Legendary keyboard player for the band Yes, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, and adding a second leg to his solo farewell tour. Welcome to the Rocker Morning Show, the legend Rick Wakeman. It's a pleasure to have you on today, man.
Really kind. Thank you so much.
This is a huge deal because you have been in bands and touring for more than 50 years. You've been a member of some legendary groups, played with some of the biggest rock bands and names in rock history. You know, some might say this is the end of an era in rock and roll with you officially coming off the road, Rick.
Well, I'm coming off stopping the one-man shows. I still want to keep playing and work with, my own band and with other musicians. It's just, I've got lots of projects and things that I want to do over the years, and there's just not enough time. So something had to give, and I thought, well, I've been doing the one-man show for so many years now, way back into the 1900s, and I thought, right, I've sort of pretty much exhausted it as to what I can do with it. So it's time to retire it and get on to other stuff. So it is the last of the one-man shows. So anybody who comes to this leg and they're looking like adding another leg because this one they can't fit everything in. But these will be the last, whatever town it comes to, that'll be the last time of the one-man shows.
Well, specifically this tour, you've already been out on the road with it a little bit. You've now announced this second leg, but you aren't hitting a lot of like the traditional venues in most of these like cities and stuff. You're kind of making some special stops, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. Like all bands will tell you, it's down to your agent where they book. You don't really get a say in it. It's all really down to them where you go, where you play. I mean, you can say sometimes. I mean, I do sometimes say, "Oh, it'd be great to be able to play that," and they'll come back and say, "Oh, it doesn't root well, or they don't want you, or something like that." Agents, bless them, will always have an excuse as to why you can't go somewhere.
Right. Were there any dates or locations on this tour in particular that when you saw it come up, you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to do that show. I remember this venue."
To be honest, and this is not a political answer, pretty much all of them. I mean, there's so many great, and they all bring back memories. You go, oh yeah, and when you arrive at a place as well, it's like I always prepare a few silly stories to tell, but they change all the time because you arrive somewhere and you remember something about that place, and that becomes part of the show.
Yeah. What was the mindset when you started developing this tour? You said you've done pretty much everything you can with the show, but you are still kind of, putting together some fun stuff for this particular one. What's the ultimate message you want to get out with this final solo tour around the U.S.?
It's just very much. I'd like to think that people can go through a wave of many different emotions because I think that's what a concert should be. But at the end of the day, I'd like that people go away with a smile on their face. That's what's important. I want people to go away happy. I'm not a doom and gloom person. So you want people to go away, as I say, happy, few memories, and maybe during the show have a few old memories jerked and reminded. It should be a bit of a journey, which would be nice.
Yeah, with these shows, obviously, like you said, you're going to have the different stories of the different cities and your different experiences and stuff. You do, try to freshen up the set list, obviously, too. Remind me, are you performing the Yes Sonata on this tour?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
For those that don't know what this is, can you explain what this is?
Yeah, it's a piano piece of music. It's about anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes long. And what it is, it's made up of about 30-odd themes, melodies, tunes from Yes Music that I was involved with over the years, all put together, interwoven into a piano piece. And it changes every night. It's never the same because I didn't want it to be a fixed piece with everything. So it will change. If you came to see every show on this tour, it will be a little bit different on every one because I want to have that freedom of, sometimes you can play and I might put some of the little bits, the tunes and the melodies in a different order, and not for any particular reason. It's how I feel on the day. So it is. I mean, there is a recording of Yes Sonata, which is sort of, I suppose you could say, is a definitive recording. But I didn't want to play it the same every night. I wanted it to be different when you're playing live. So it will be a bit different everywhere I go.
And it's really impressive too, because you hear the band name Yes, and you think Owner of a Lonely Heart, and then maybe a couple other songs too. But man, Yes was such a hit factory back in the day, and you were a part of such a huge aspect of that band too. And then to incorporate that into something that is in this show, that's got to be a real special moment for you and for the crowd too.
It is lovely to play and lovely to do, and it's I was amazed on the last one how much people genuinely liked it. I mean, I wasn't sure. Well, people really want to sit and hear a 25-minute piano piece, but apparently they do. Yeah. And it's great fun to play, so I'm really pleased.
Well, you have had just an incredible career. You've worked with, rock and roll icons. You worked with David Bowie on Space Oddity. Did you work directly with him on that, or were you just kind of studio adjacent? What was that experience like?
Space Oddity, I was brought in to specifically play the mellotron because they'd had people in to play who couldn't keep it in tune, and it was Tony Visconti who recommended to Gus Dudgeon and to David that they sort of got me in, so I came and did that. Became very good friends with David. He'd heard my piano playing and said, "Come on, I want you to do some piano on some of my stuff." So I did. On another day, I did Wild Eyed Boy from Free Cloud, Memory of a Free Festival, and then did the Hunky Dory album with him and Life on Mars and all of that. And I had, with all the piano pieces, I definitely had some freedom because David would give his musicians freedom to interpret his music as they wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was great. So I had a complete free reign on Hunky Dory and things, which was great.
Man. And in addition to, working with, David Bowie and all these other rock stars, you have, more than 90 album credits to just your name, which is just insane for somebody to write and compose so much music. Is there ever a quiet moment in your brain at all?
No, it refuses point blank to go to sleep. And as my wife says, the time to start worrying is if it won't go to sleep.
Right.
If you just or if you won't keep thinking of ideas and thinking of things. No, I think that's the joy about music. You never stop.
Right. Well, you're definitely not stopping. You're going out on this second leg of your solo tour, your solo farewell tour. And you can get tickets now, rwcc.com. And we do have some dates in our area, like day trips down to Kent, Ohio. And I believe October 15th, you're going to be at St. Charles, Illinois. And like you said, last chance to catch you on the road doing the solo show. And it's something special. And we can't wait for it. Rick, thank you so much for 5 decades of your music and your time today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's very kind. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Stay safe on the road, Rick, all right?
Cheers. Thank you.